Hey, how's it going? All right, today we're going to look at the minor pentatonic Add9 scale. Okay, so we're going to look at it in A minor pentatonic. Now, what is the 9? The 9 would be the second degree from whatever root you're in. So usually the next note after A in an A minor pentatonic scale is going to be C. But we're going to add in the B, A, B, C. And this is kind of the next step after you learn your pentatonics really well and you know a lot of licks in your pentatonics and continuing to work on your pentatonic licks. But this kind of helps you break out of just playing pentatonics. So let me show you the shape. I'm mostly going to be working in the A minor pentatonic, the root A minor pentatonic at the 5th fret. So here's A minor pentatonic. Now I'm going to add in the B's. Here's a B here, here's a B here, here's a B here. So it definitely lengthens the scale a little bit. There's 3 strings where you kind of got to go into playing the 3-finger style versus the 2-finger style. So it kind of adds a couple new challenges there for you. Now, what does it do beyond just give you more variety? Let's analyze it. So when you're playing the A minor pentatonic and any scale, you know, a lot of people talk about how important arpeggios are, triad arpeggios and 7th chord arpeggios. So when you have the A minor pentatonic, like let's say for instance you're soloing over A minor, you know, that's a stretch. But basically you kind of have 2 triads that you have in there. I guess there's 3. There's A minor, the A minor triad, which is A, C, E. Then you have A minor 7, A, C, E, G. But then you also have the C major triad, C, E, G, right? So, and you have different variations, different inversions of it, whether for A minor it'd be A, C, E, C, E, A, you know, if I'm skipping the 7, and it goes all the way down like that. Like this is, like that's a 2-octave A minor triad. And then you also have variations in the inversions of the major, the C major triad, C, E, G, E, G, C, G, C, E. Now right here, notice this is part of that C bar chord right there. Right. So there's a lot, those are clues into how to resolve when you're soloing into those chord tones. Now what happens when we add in the B to that? We've got new triads and arpeggios that we can play off of. Now the first one would be that it adds B is the major 7 of C. So you have C, E, G, B. Right there, or you could do it here. The other thing it adds in would be E minor, an E minor triad, and an E minor 7. So an E minor triad would be E, G, B. And then E minor 7 would be E, G, B, D. Okay, and then there's one more that is added in also, and that's the G major triad, G, B, D. So it definitely adds a lot of variety to the minor pentatonic. Now, what are some strategies for practicing this? It does help to have a chord played behind, like I do with the keyboard here. Let me play an A minor triad, and then I'll play some ideas over it. I am going to throw in a few licks at the end. So there's A minor. All right, now let me just play the A minor pentatonic. Now let me throw in the B's. Gives a little more variety. Now let's isolate some spots. Right, so I'm doing a regular pentatonic lick there. Do a bend there and go into that B. You could place a more of like a blues lick, like that. Then that's where you start to have a lot of options, because you could play that blues lick, but then play the blues lick up, then come back to that B, and then play a E minor triad from there. That's a cool lick, or, there's many different ways to play. Or you could just go... Or, right, you kind of have to approach the scales a little different when you have these 3 note per string forms all of a sudden. Now this, when you do the Pentatonic Add9, the minor Pentatonic Add9, when you add in the 9, really there's only one more note to make it fully modal. So at this point, if you do add in the 9 with the minor pentatonic, it's not inferring whether it's Dorian or Aeolian. That's in both A minor Dorian and A minor Aeolian. And shortly I'll get into what's the difference between the two in this actual shape. So let me play a few more licks with the A minor behind it. The first thing you'd want to do is just practice like this. Make note of the fingering. And use some of your pentatonic licks that you already know. And work on resolving into the 9, which is B, or just adding it in. Like that's resolving into the A. All right, let me put the A minor chord back on the keyboard and I'll play some ideas. Let me play that one I just played. Notice how it resolves nicely because I'm going into the root, A. Now that's resolving into the 9. All right, let me play a E minor triad. resolving into the C there, which is the third of A minor. Very kind of almost Pink Floyd-like. Pentatonic bend. Now what I did there was I did a G triad and then resolved into a chord tone of A minor. So that works with either the E minor, that's E minor 7, or just a G. You used to hear the Allman Brothers do this type thing a lot. There's a chromatic from the 9. You could throw in the blues scale with it and go into the 9. All right, there's a lot of great ideas right there. Now, beyond that, a little bonus. Let me just show you real quick, as far as pattern and form goes, what's the difference between Dorian and Aeolian after you're adding in the 9 some. So basically, the way I look at it in this form shape, if you're an Aeolian, you're going to add in the F. A minor Aeolian is actually the C major scale. Okay? C major scale has an F in it, and then all the other notes are the A minor pentatonic Add9, right? So you get like... If you want A minor Dorian, you're going to be adding in the F sharp instead of the F. The F sharp, that's from the G major scale, right? G major is the first major scale that has a sharp in it. So you get... Now, in future videos, I'll talk about why that is, the theory that's kind of behind it. But for now, just work on your minor pentatonic Add9 scale. And once again, the shape goes... Think about all those triads and arpeggios that go along with it. These are all clues in how to resolve into making phrases that really sound like you know what you're doing. Now, definitely hit the subscribe button. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll be posting more on this soon.